What's going on, everybody? Kimberly, Scott, hope you're doing well. David, there is some retarded people in the world, I agree. There is definitely some retarded people in the world. What's up, Casey? Hope you're doing good. Still on what? He said, are you still on what? What the fuck is this chatterbait? What's up, Justin Mom? How you doing? What's up, David? Man, the aftermath. So, he said, I heard chatterbait is, I don't even know what that is, bro. I don't even know what that is. You got to explain to me what that is. He will never be guilty in their eyes? Yeah. It's not just about the guilters today, by the way. We got some information that's come out, and I do want to talk about here. Obviously, I'm going to make fun of the guilters a little bit. I mean, not the guilters, but the pro buggers, excuse me. Women finger themselves on chatterbait? Is that what it is? Yeah, I don't know. OnlyFans with better money to be made? No. Yeah, no. That's something I've never attempted. Something I've never attempted. Steven says, good evening, everyone. Good evening as well to you. Guys, we're going to talk about all the information that's been released when it comes to the documents that have been dropped afterwards. Because there has been a little bit, not a lot, but there's been a little bit to talk about. And for some reason, all the pro burgers are running around here like, with all this new information, I'm even more sure he didn't do it. I'm like, hold the fuck up. What new information did you get? That, it's just, what's up, Kim? It's one of those things where I just think the more retarded someone is, I feel like they just beat their head against the wall and just are more, like they make themselves more retarded because they're already initially retarded. And I'm not saying, by the way, everyone that questioned this case is retarded. I'm saying we've reached that moment. We've reached that moment that if you don't believe Brian Kohlberger murdered the Idaho 4, you're probably retarded. Police say he did it. Prosecution said he did it. Brian Kohlberger said he did it. I'm like, I don't even understand where we're going with this. It is strange. And to believe DJ, a.k.a. The Hammer, I don't know any of that. Okay, you know what? Anyways, snack cakers have been snack caking like they've never snack caked before. Yes. And that's the issue, Dewdrop. The issue that currently exists with this entire scenario is that you would think, I still got people saying he's not going to prison. These people don't understand. They're like, he's going to appeal within 40 days. That's not a real thing. People don't fail to understand that's not how appeals work. And part of the appeal is that part of the plea bargain is that you don't appeal, because if you did that, you would ruin your plea bargain. And then you'd be right back to facing death after admitting to the public and the whole world that you did it. It's not something that anybody would do. At all. It's not even something that typically ever happens. In fact, it rarely ever happens because it's understood that it's only a formality and that it's not a real thing. Never in the history of the world have you seen someone appeal a plea bargain and then get away with the case. It's never happened. It doesn't happen. It's not a thing. It's just a formality that you have a certain amount of time to tell us, and it has to be earth-shattering for you to do anything about it. He's done. Maybe in a few years he'll tell us how he did it, and I hope he never tells anybody anything. I'm going to be honest with you, Dave. I hope Brian Kohlberger, and even, listen, everyone wants to be a lawyer. Because of how retarded people have gotten and how entitled they feel to information that's none of their business, I genuinely, and I mean this wholeheartedly, I hope Brian Kohlberger takes it with him to his grave. Because one of the things that have upset me and triggered me the most in this entire scenario is all the people that feel absolutely entitled to this information. Let me give a shout out to Bayou Rally. Appreciate you, Rally. We got Bayou Repair Service. He sent 25. It said emergency Bucker snack resupply. Yes. Exactly. Yes. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, man. Hope you and the family have been all right, Rally. I do. Free OJ, says the AZ. Yes. All right, so what's up, JB? You're the only one I care about to tune into live. You're awesome. Thank you, Jennifer. Look, here's the thing. It's okay to play Clue. It's okay to wonder. But that's when he was innocent. At the point when someone says, I'm guilty, I murdered 4 young people in cold blood in their sleep, almost. This is the time where we stop giving Bryan Kohberger the benefit of the doubt. Because anyone that's still doing it, you just look like a scumbag monster that supports a quadruple killer. That's what you look like at this point in time if you're still giving Bryan Kohberger the benefit of the doubt after Bryan Kohberger told us that he did it. Now you look like you're just wanting to help the killer. And yes, these people will send him commissary. Yes, these people will probably visit him on his iPad. Yes, these people will put money, we'll do all of that. And if that doesn't show you that they're fucking nut jobs. See, back in the day when I offered help for Kohberger, I thought he was innocent. He hadn't admitted the crime. At this stage, if a man looks you in the eyes when he's facing 4 life sentences and says, I did the crimes, you would have to be a special, thank you, Amanda. You would have to be a special motherfucker to look at him and say, yeah, but I didn't get all the answers I wanted, so I think he's innocent. First of all, you're not entitled to the answers. And that's why I personally hope Kohberger doesn't tell anybody shit. Just to piss off everybody. Everybody. Both the guilters and the pro-burgers. Piss them both off. Piss them both off, Kohberger. Don't tell them shit. Yes, only real channel in this case. I would only watch 2 minutes of drip drops. Yeah. That motherfucker's last video was a I love you letter to Bryan Kohberger and shit. So we got some information. There is no Papa Roger. I mean, there is Papa Roger, but Bryan Kohberger is not Papa Roger. A lot of people are shocked about this. And a lot of people are like, I don't understand. How do they know? Because they know the identity of Papa Rogers. They know the identity of Papa Rogers. And it's not Bryan Kohberger. They said this when the sheriffs did their little press conference after the sentencing. The sheriffs revealed a couple things, and I'll tell you the things that they revealed. Kohberger was involved in the MK Ultra program. Yeah, right. Here they come. Here they come. So Bryan Kohberger was not Papa Roger. Okay? I think that's interesting news. I think a lot of people at different times throughout this case thought that he probably was. But I think that's interesting. They know who Papa Rogers was. They said it's not Kohberger. Deal, I accept it. We also, during that press conference, learned that there was absolutely no, there's Papa Roger right there, that there was absolutely no connection to the victims. There was no connection at all. He didn't follow him on Instagram. There was no communications at all. No, the whole vegan restaurant shit, he wasn't there. It's weird because the pic look. No, the pic does look just like him. I'll give you that. The pic does look just like Kohlberger, but it's not him. And I think people wanted to make it him because they wanted to portray Kohlberger as some super evil genius sitting back there watching his dirty work and trying. You know, do you see what I'm saying? And when in all reality is Kohlberger wasn't as intelligent as, well, he made some bad decisions. Horrible decisions, even before the murders. At first, I brushed off the turning his phone off shit. I said, you know what? Anybody's phone can die while you're asleep. But the truth of this is that I always left out of my videos is that he turned it off while he was gone and back on while he was gone. He wasn't just laying in his bed watching YouTube until it died. The truth is that his DNA was found there. Whether it's touch DNA or not, you got to ask yourself, how the fuck did his DNA get there on a knife sheath under, by the way, a brutally murdered body? If you read the reports of the officers, I'm telling you, this was one of the most gruesome crime scenes I've ever even heard of. This is some of that Dexter shit. He did a great job of cleaning up his car and his apartment, making sure there's nothing there. He did a great job of that. He said, Papa Roger, got your tablet already? He won't already. He's in diagnostics right now. He's in diagnostics right now. So they say there's no connection at all between Kohlberger and the girls and the victims. He didn't go in. There's no evidence he went into the restaurant. There's no evidence of any connection at all between them. So what they said is they believe he targeted the house. Kohlberger was just an observer. He gave Enan Harsh the knife and watched him do it. I don't know what people's obsession is with Enan Harsh either. It's a weird obsession. That's a weird obsession. But anyway. So he targeted the house, not a particular victim, is what they believe. And they believe that because there is no connection with the victims. Now, there's other things that was said that'll show you that he actually was stalking this house for whatever reason. We're going to go with Kohlberger since Kohlberger admitted it, that the house was the target, not specific people. And there's reasons that certain people were stabbed more. We'll get to that. We also found out that there was not only no weapon found, they didn't even come close to finding it. How did Papa Rogers know about the knife sheath? Good question. But it could have been a guy. He didn't know about the knife sheath, though. Kathy Sue, if you go back to the Papa Rogers messages, all he said was, I would imagine the killer probably left behind the knife sheath. Do you see what I'm saying? If you go back to the original Papa Rogers messages, he said the killer probably parked on the side right there. I would imagine that's where he would park. And he probably left something behind, like a knife sheath or something. Do you see my point? So all he was doing was saying the killer probably did this and this, and he was right. And people automatically say, how did he know? This whole community is filled with people that speculate on shit. Why is it so hard to believe that somebody got it right? Why was it so hard? Why is it so hard to believe that one of the people speculating about the case, one of the snack cakers, got it right? And that's what I think that Papa Roger did. I think he just guessed it right. Because the police said that he absolutely is not Papa Roger. And why would they say that? Why would they say that? I mean, what reason would they have to hide that? So no connection. They have absolutely no weapon. They found absolutely no weapon at all. None. The house was targeted, not the victim. Brian Koberger, for you guys that are watching this that may believe Brian Koberger is innocent, can you explain to me why there is evidence? Exactly, 1,000 people talking about the case. One of them is bound to guess a single detail correctly. Yeah. Can somebody tell me why all of Brian Koberger's electronics were wiped? The devices were wiped using specific software to do it. Now, Brian Koberger using a VPN, we heard about that. That's not weird to me. I'm using a VPN right now. There's a VPN on my phone. I'm constantly using a VPN. However, you know what I'm not doing? I'm not constantly wiping everything. I may delete files or move them to a hard drive, but to get specific software to wipe off what's up, Shabazz? To wipe off all of your electronics means you're trying to hide something. Because it's easy to just reset your stuff. Brian uses the WSU, Computer for Research. No comment from Washington State University. Very, very possible. What's up, Jessica? Now, so you have to ask yourself, what reason would somebody have to wipe your devices clean? Your tablet, your phone, your computer. What reason would any human being have to when we can just simply delete it? What reason? And I would ask any pro-burgers to tell me, what reason does someone have to wipe their computer clean, their things clean, following a homicide? Dude, these other content creators are still saying he's innocent. What the fuck, man? Yeah, they are. Paranoia, absolutely. Absolutely, Afro. So that would be the question I would ask. And if Jessica's right and it's paranoia for what? To cover your tracks. Usually when people wipe their shit clean, like Hillary Clinton wiped it clean, you know what I'm saying? Scrubbed it. That's usually people that do like the kiddie porn shit, and they still get caught. Heard that Kaylee's teeth were knocked out? He absolutely they were. I got it written right here. Kaylee, we'll get to Kaylee. We'll get to all of that. All the information that I've read, and trust me when I tell you. Let me show you. Let me show you real quick. I'm going to pull this up. Every one of those files I have literally right here. Every one of them. And there's so many in each one of these. There's a shitload of documents here. I will give you the link where those documents are. I will give you the link to where those documents are. I'll put it in the chat room in a minute if you guys haven't seen the documents and you want to go see them. Dude is evil as fuck. Just look at him. Yeah, he wanted to kill one broad and get out, but he ran into real life. He might have been doing some killing before this, and we'll talk about that in just a second. PC Clean works for all your devices. Mine cleans my devices weekly. Normal people, in my opinion, doesn't wipe their devices clean. Because normal people have information on their devices that they want to keep. What reason in the world would you have to wipe your... We're not even talking about setting it back to factory default. Why would anyone want to wipe their shit clean and re-download all the different apps, programs? Why in the world would any human being do that? What would be the purpose? I wipe my butt after every sitting, so I do the same with my electronics. Normal people don't do that. Normal people don't do that. What's up with the black heart Brian had in front of him at the Simpson? Yeah, that's a good question. We still don't know. What's up, the beautiful Mandy is joining us. Happy Friday. Miss you too, beautiful. So we learned that he wiped all of his devices with special software he keeps. We learned that he did that. Then we got to go on to the scene, the autopsy. All of the police reports of the scene. What they said, here's what we got. The scene itself was extremely bloody, way more bloody than even we thought. Because remember, we said to ourselves, hold on, if they walked in there and they thought the girls were just passed out or something, wouldn't they have seen all the blood? Come to find out there was all kinds of blood, and he did, and Hunter Johnson did see it. He just thought it was still messy. He didn't, because you got to remember, the blood had had a chance to dry. So when blood dries, you know what it looks like. People saying he buried the weapon, why wouldn't he clean the shovel then? Yeah, you get the point. Chances are it's in the bottom of a lake somewhere during his road trip across the fucking country. Some shit like that, who knows? Or he got rid of it during the month. Listen, I just want to say this. Also to the guilters, I got a question. So let me get this straight. These murders happen. Then, what was it, December 7th? They released an APB out on a white Elantra. And then all of a sudden, Kohberger, less than a week or so later, goes home. He's like, fuck that, I'm going all the way to Pennsylvania. What if the picture of the kids and he had a black heart over the face? I don't know. I don't think so. What's up, Upgrade? The other one killed Maddie Soto on her 13th birthday. He did the same thing on his phone too. Yeah. So the question has to be asked. You got to put the pieces together. Listen, I know it's a lot of circumstantial shit, but once you put it all together, it's like, listen, after reading the documents, I'm not less convinced. I'm more convinced Brian Kohberger did this. It's all starting to connect. All the dots are connecting. And you even have to ask yourself, what would make him have his father come all the way out to Idaho, who, by the way, typically can't afford to do any of that? And then they're going to drive all the way back to Pennsylvania. In my opinion, Kohberger saw the APB. Keep in mind, he also changed his license plate. After the murders, changed the license plate. Then the APB went out on looking for the white Elantra. Then he's like, nah, I'm going to Pennsylvania. I think I'll go to Pennsylvania for a week or two. And his apartment, remember seeing the shower? Remember them saying there was no shower curtain? And then we even saw Kohberger's picture, and there was, come on, man. He was in Moscow 23 times. Then after the murders, never again. Good point. I don't know if he was necessarily in Moscow. I still believe that the towers pinging on the phone, unless they have some like super shit zoomed in on it. What's up, guys? Upgrade says laying low. Exactly. Son of a Beast says this case really proved how many real nutcases walk around. No, 100% they do. And here's what's crazy, is they think we're the nutcases. The nutcases think we're the nutcases. They're like, oh my God, you believe the police? I'm like, no, I believe Brian Kohberger. In the beginning, I questioned the police, I questioned the prosecution, I questioned the FBI, but when a grown man says, no, I did it and I'll take 4 consecutive life sentences, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to believe him. So, what made him make that drive? They call us mainstream just for not being crazy. Mainstream media didn't tell me Brian Kohlberger did it. Kohlberger said it out of his own mouth. I'm going back into work. I'll be listening though. Have a good one, Shabazz. So, not just all this. So I guess he just wanted to take a cross-country drive, and he had, instead of just flying out there, he had his dad fly out there so they can drive back. Imagine, think of how weird that is. I think he went back a few hours later to get the sheets and then chickened out. Yeah, I think that's exactly what happened. I think he realized it was gone. He went back to get it and said, and did chicken out. I believe he was going to give a statement until the families got a hold of him. He was so pissed off and decided not to give the statement. That's very possible. And other comments I've gotten in my comment section is, I can't believe you believe that this one man could murder all four of them in 19 minutes. Of course he can. Even if they was awake, killing a bunch of drunk kids isn't that hard. When you take into account that probably 3 of them were asleep, it's not that hard to kill people. I don't understand how people ask questions like that. JB, you're so dumb. You believe that this one guy killed 4 people. You mean sleeping drunk kids? Or not necessarily kids, but young people? Yeah, I do believe it. Yeah, I believe it. Use your own arm and see how many times you can stab in 30 seconds. That's good. No, that's a valid point. Chloroform on a rag works great too. It can. Who did the retiming of how long it takes to stab 51 times and 34 times and do other stabbings? I don't know, man. I'm going to let all the internet goobers do that shit. Especially since they had the stabs and all. Yeah, we'll get to that as well, Mandy. They clearly haven't seen how big a K-bar knife is. Then, no, I'm going to let all the goobers goop. If people want to sit here and do scientific experiments with taking the time with a stopwatch, go. And then, you know what I'm saying? If they want to do all that, they're just going to come up with a different answer anyway. They're just going to come up with a different answer anyway that is confirmation bias of their own fuckery. I still don't think it was an incel, though. I still don't think it was an incel. I think a lot of people just call men that they don't want to fuck incels. You know what I mean? And most of the time, that's not even, it's not true. They confirmed there was 2 weapons used. We'll get to that. I'm working on it. We'll get to that. Well, nobody confirmed it. Nobody confirmed it. Steve Gonsalves said it, though. BK flat out said he did it. What more do these fucking idiots need? Why, exactly. Google Bondi injunction stabbings. Or I can just continue on with my show. He wasn't an incel. He was on heroin and wanted to commit a crime. Yeah. Look, man, there are plenty of people that do shit like this that's not incel. Ted Bundy was not an incel. All right? These people are not incels. Yeah, the incel narrative is way out there. Tailgating close behind vehicles on the Indiana highway may have been so cops sitting on the side of the road didn't see him. I agree. They got me that way with a dead inspection ticket. Yeah, I think a lot of people do that exact same thing. So for the people that said, how did he kill 4 people? The answer is simple. They were drunken and asleep and they didn't expect it. The beautiful Katie is joining us. How you doing, beautiful? So back to the murder scene. Very bloody. Kaylee was stabbed 30 plus times. Xana was stabbed 50 plus times. Proers are just playing a long game of so you want to be Ann Taylor? Yeah, they are. Tin-man lemon parties? I don't know what that is. But you're probably right, Jeff, about the Ann. That's what they. I've even heard. There's even been comments in my comment section saying that they think Ann was in on the gag, and that's what happened. Is this was all a big giant conspiracy against Koberger. I'm like, man, will you shut the fuck up? Like, will you go get some pussy or some dick or something and like chill out with the? It's weird. So Kaylee was stabbed 30 plus times. Xana was stabbed 50 plus times because these are the two people. So Koberger slid in, fucked Maddie up. This woke Kaylee up. Kaylee sits up. Koberger has a whole other object and the knife. And how do we know that there's a whole other object? Well, I don't know. But according to the sheriffs and actually this part is Gonsalves, they believe that there was they believe that Kaylee essentially was, what's the word I'm looking for? I haven't gotten there yet. They believe that Kaylee was bound, was muzzled, essentially. And what happened is whatever object it was, he was beating her with it. It broke out her teeth, and they believed that it was black. That it was circular with lines on it, because apparently the lines on the object, like it came off on Kaylee's gag. Yeah, it came off on Kaylee's face, like there was imprints of the object. We'll get to that, which is crazy when you really think about it. But what do I know? Says Mary. He didn't say anything. Kaylee, married to the mob, just came in. But what do I know? That's your first that's your first comment. Okay, you tell us. Kaylee would have kicked his ass, right? Yeah, that whole shit. That's just feminist garbage. Sorry, I didn't post. It's okay. Troll says if they wanted to set someone up, why would they choose a criminologist and not the drug dealing? Yeah, they could have done any of that. Very well put, JB. When asked how one guy do it, they were drunk, asleep, and didn't expect it. 100%. Some suggested brass knuckles. Yeah. So, very bloody, all over the place. In my opinion, he snuck up, killed Maddie, realized Kaylee is, I think he used butt of the knife to hit her. That is possible. That is possible. That is actually really, really possible. Especially when you know how solid the handle of the knife. I actually think that's it. You got a great point. It may not even be a second object. Can you hit people with the butt of the K-bar? That's a great point. Exactly. So, what in my opinion, he runs up. He didn't know Kaylee was there. He's getting Maddie. Kaylee happened to be there. Because you got to remember, if he did stalk the place, he probably was just looking in Maddie's window the entire time. Kaylee was gone. Shit like that. So maybe he didn't know there was going to be 4 people. Maybe he thought there was just going to he was going to get Maddie upstairs. Obviously, that's the chick that's in the room with the pink boot. He gets up there. He kills her. Kaylee sits up. He then just starts immediately beating her with the butt, stabbing her 30 times. She took the stabbing. He knocked her teeth out. See, in Maddie's room, she was, both of the victims were covered he actually covered them, they were in a blanket. Maybe they were never able to get out of the blanket. But if you want to know the truth, what I think the likely scenario is, Maddie, here's the truth. I believe Kaylee Gonsalves got Brian Koberger caught. Because as he's sitting there, he's getting Maddie. He's caught off guard by Kaylee. He drops the knife sheath, which the dummy shouldn't have been carrying anyway. She's fighting, sitting there. He's got her against the wall as she's sitting there, beating her, stabbing her. It is possible, Jeff. Any chance he thought he could take Maddie, put her in a car, and go off to Wawa Park? Possible. So at this moment, all of this happens. Xana's coming up the stairs. He's like, oh, hold on, I'm here to help you. Chasing her downstairs. We'll get to the chasing part earlier because Dylan, I got some information on Dylan. Chases Xana down the stairs. Xana's running to her room. The fight happens. Stabs her 50 fucking times. Her hand was cut open, like she had tried to stop the fight. Xana's room was the most bloody room of the entire house. Now, I don't know if he stabbed her 50 times before killing Ethan. I know I wouldn't. But she got it the worst, actually. Xana got it the worst. Ethan got it pretty bad as well. You could tell Ethan was probably asleep, though. He was laying on his back and his legs were off the bed a little bit. So he might have caught Ethan sitting up. Ethan might have sat up and been like, what the fuck? And then Kohlberger just went in. What I will tell you is all the stabbing had to be exhausting. Dolores sent 5. I respect you, JB. You have a great deal of common sense. Thank you, Dolores. Appreciate you, beautiful. Very much so. So Kohlberger, it had to have been exhausting. You think he carved Ethan's legs to throw off he didn't carve his legs. He didn't carve the legs. Did you read Ethan's legs were not carved? What gang would Kohlberger join in prison? I don't think he'll join any gang. There was blood on one of his chairs, suggesting he sat to catch his breath upstairs, and that was when Xander came upstairs, got chased down, got caught, stabbed, and he may not have did her 50 times just yet. He may have started to stab it. Ethan started to get up. He jumped over, got Ethan, and then Xana was still alive, so he went back to Xana, is what I would think. And in all of this, he forgot the knife sheath was upstairs. Killing frenzy. That's exactly right. And that's why he didn't see Dylan, that he didn't even care. At this moment, he's so fucking exhausted. If you do not believe me, try to jack off with 80 strokes. He said he was well educated. I don't understand why knife sheath wasn't on the belt. Yeah, it's crazy. Would you go into such a situation? No, I don't understand either. Brian Kohlberger made it. Let me tell you something, Gil. And I know this because book smart. Let me explain this to you. People with high IQs, and I have a high IQ, we don't have the most common sense. I'm being dead honest with you. There are mistakes that I've made in my life that I look back on, I'm like, why in the fuck would I do that? Just to be perfectly honest, I have the ability to read and research and maintain and retain information on, do you understand what I'm saying? If you were to see my transcripts of any of my schooling, you'd be like, damn, this motherfucker. But in real life, sometimes you just, sometimes you don't give a fuck. Sometimes you get sloppy. Sometimes you get messy. I'm just being honest. Kohlberger might have been a genius book smart wise, and he just may not have. He may have been one of those people that common sense doesn't follow. Because sometimes you can overthink things through. And I think it's very possible he overthought it. We'll get to the flashbang in a second. Dickie's jumpsuits don't have belt loops. That's a good point. Sheath fell through the pocket. That's an excellent point. That's an excellent point. That's an excellent point. Do we know the reason for the murders, the motive? No. And we're never going to. We're never going to. So, blood all over Xana's room. Xana died in her underwear and a shirt. You can tell he thought this is at 99%, but didn't factor in real world scenarios, which might be impossible. No, agreed. The ability to foresee some shit it's not always that easy. Brian loves playing the game. I know something you don't know. Yeah. One 100% JB. Yeah. So Xana was found dead in her underwear. She had dried up blood all over her face, body, all of that shit, because she'd laid for so long. Do you think he gagged Kaylee with his own belt, and that's why the sheath was left on the bed? No. No. I think he was punching her in her face, using his hand, all kinds of shit. Maybe the knife itself. The butt of the knife itself. And also, her face was stabbed so much it was unrecognizable. Her face was covered in stab wounds and bruises. The only other person, I believe Maddie got cut on her face. Maddie got cut on her right under her eye. Most people got, like when he went downstairs, people were getting hit in the lungs and liver. He wanted to study his case with his class, who's the killer, but it was him the whole time. I think that, I mean, hey, some wild shit. So Maddie's room, both covered in the bloody blanket. Maddie against Kaylee. She's against Kaylee. Kaylee's against the wall. And based on the pooling of blood, it was said, why did Hunter not see blood from Xana and Ethan if there was blood all over? Why no mention of blood from him? Good question. What the police, there are people that are saying that, what's up, Taco? There are people believing that it is, he thought it was just dirty, messy. You also got to remember that kind of shit, especially if the lights are off, isn't as obvious to people as you think. Like, I want you to think about it. If your lights were off in your room and you had curtains and all that type of shit, dried blood, you probably wouldn't notice right away, of course. I want you to literally turn your lights off in your room and ask yourself, like if you were just kind of, worried about what was going on and you were just going in there to look and peek real quick, would you notice? There was blood like on walls and shit like that. Would you notice it? Great at Call of Duty, but doesn't understand anything about the actual war fighting. Makes complete sense. Yeah, exactly. But the smell would have said it all. You would think so. And maybe it did. You get a bad cut on your arm, there's blood everywhere. Yeah. And so I want to touch on these type of questions. Because I think the questions are great questions. But also realize that the people that believe he's not guilty, for some reason, are saying that this is proof. Us still having questions that's unanswered is somehow proof that Kohberger didn't do it. And that's not true. We have questions about every case. And if that's your standard, that every minor question that someone that has nothing to do with the case, you have no entitlement to the information. To believe that unless you, just some random person on the goddamn internet, have all the answers to all the questions that you have answered, that means that the guy that just said he's guilty is not guilty, then you have you think you're more important than you are. What about Jack's blood all over the apartment? Where the fuck did you get that information from? Some YouTuber made it up? Go to his channel. On that call, they had seen them laying there, lights off. And when the 911 dispatcher told him to go check if they were breathing, Hunter did go in close enough to see and panicked and ushered them out. Yeah, exactly. He saved the girls from any kind of, like, trauma, honestly. So, Maddie was laying up against Kaylee. Kaylee was unrecognizable, potentially an other object involved. Bro, it's literally in the docs. Have you not read them? Of course I've read them. Of course I read them. You said somewhere in the documents, though, is saying that it's Jack M's blood? Is that what you just said? Or Jack, you said, are you trying to say Showalter? Is that what you're saying? Do you think there was calling Kylie's boyfriend nonstop because they couldn't find the dog and the dog was his too? No, I think she was drunk and wanting some dick. I think she was drunk, she was there for the weekend, and she wanted some dick. Coworker messed up by not grabbing the sheet and not painting his car green afterwards, of course. Yeah, Showalter? Right. If you can tell me what document Jack Showalter's name is mentioned on, and what document said that Jack Showalter's name, blood was in the house, I will pull it up on the screen right now. I've looked at the documents, and I'll show you right now. Just so you know, I'm not bullshitting. I have the documents all right here. I have the documents all right here. Would you like to tell me which report, what page, what report says that Jack Showalter's blood was in the house? I knew you got it from a goddamn YouTuber. Get out. Get out. Get the fuck out of here. That's why as soon as he said his theory, I said, you got that from a YouTuber, didn't you? He said, oh, you didn't read the documents? This motherfucker didn't read the documents. I actually have them all pulled up right now. Bro, all these people get their info from you. Yes. And but a lot of them read the documents. And my people don't go to other people's YouTube channels and say, oh, I can't believe you guys didn't know something. There's no Jack Showalter in the documents. Have you seen the documents? Have you seen how completely blacked out other people's names are? I mentioned it because supposedly in one of the documents it was mentioned something after 2:30 a.m. Maddie was looking everywhere for the dog and can't find it. Hollywood says there's a lot of sketchy shit going on with reports being released. How's that? I wouldn't take 4 life sentences if I was innocent, but regardless. What? All right, I'm going to ask you guys something. Because I've seen a lot of people get the guy that puts extra O's at the end of LMAO out of here, please. I don't like people like that. To my mods, I want you to know this. Any human being that you see put multiple O's at the end of a simple thing like LMAO and you know what I'm saying? Get whoever does that out of the room. I don't want them back in here. Anybody that puts multiple O's at the end of their shit doesn't have a job, doesn't have money, so he can't do my channel any good. Get him out of here, please. And don't just block his shit. Don't just delete his message. Block him completely. Hide him from the channel. I don't want him back in here. Yes, anybody that does read, get him out of there. Can't believe you don't watch other YouTubers read? Yeah, that's exactly right. All right, he's out of here. I could have just explained most of that. Yeah, I don't like people like that. They're just weird people. Young and dumb. Because adults don't put LMAO. It's just dumb, faggot, shit like that. I don't want them around. Anyways, back to what I was saying. So the answer to this question, Because I asked him, can he show me which document Jack Showalter's name is in? The reason I asked him that, and I know he can't give it to me, because all the names that are redacted. I'll show you right now. What we will do is we will pull up just one little report. Here's what we'll do. We'll go to MPD reports. We'll pull up this shit right here. I want you to understand something here, okay? I want you to understand. Anybody that is involved, mentioned, victim, let me make sure you guys can see this. Yeah, you can. Their names are redacted. Do you understand? It's all bullshit. So when somebody comes in here and says, JB, why did Jack Showalter this and that? Man, their names are not in here. How do I know that? Because I've read the goddamn documents. And you too can read the documents. Okay. Now, we got an interesting situation where both neighbors and one of the roommates said that there was some sort of fireworks sound, some sort of firework going off, which is strange. This is one of the strangest things I read, period, or that I've heard anybody talk about anything. Is that people are like, we thought we heard fireworks. Like, that seems like a strange thing in the middle of a killing. I have absolutely no clue what that's for, what that is. None. I have no clue at all what that is. Murphy. We're going to get to some other things, but apparently he'd been creeped out by somebody watching him from the woods. Could there have been a flashbang? I read that too from the report, but wouldn't they have been able to prove that? Yeah, you would think so. You would think they would have been. I don't know where this flashbang or any or the fireworks or whatever it is. It doesn't even make sense like it fits in. Serious comment. After all the docs, do you really think BK is innocent? Why would I think BK is innocent? If you ask someone for tips, they are going to report any weird stuff. Why would I think BK is innocent? Okay, let me make sure I read his question correctly. He says, serious comment. After all the docs, do you really think that BK is innocent? I didn't think BK was innocent before the docs. Who the fuck is he? Who is he? That guy? Who the fuck is this guy talking to? Anyway. Gil says, watching interrogation, I've been totally convinced the suspect was innocent, and then the son of a bitch confesses, tells what really happened, and takes detectives to the body. Yeah, no, exactly. Koberger couldn't have done it. He was outside setting off fireworks. Exactly. Bundy killed 2 women in Florida sorority house at son of a beach. Then went to another room in the same house, attacked 2 more. Yeah, it's less than 15 minutes. It can, and it typically is done. No, you, JB, a general question. Other guy, yeah, okay, no, that makes sense. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, no, I don't see how anybody. There are actually people right now that feel like the documents makes them more sure that Koberger didn't do it. I'm like, why is that? What's up, Green Gross? I think people forget as they're looking at the most recent docs that law enforcement didn't have the hindsight we all currently have. They're working to solve a mystery. Yeah, of course. You got to remember, these documents that we're looking at, a lot of these are just earlier police reports. I agree. So, When they got there, they also said that outside there were footprints. Now, my question is, what do you mean footprints? Now, the problem with the footprints is they said it wrapped around a stump in the backyard and then went towards the front. So what do you mean footprints? I mean, are they even tied to the case? Some of the stories are a little bizarre, though. No, actually, I'm going to tell you the truth. I am more convinced now. Who cuts chicken with a pocket knife? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I wish I knew the names of the people the defense were trying to claim did this. I hope that never comes out. The way that this community has attacked the victims, I mean the survivors, the families, I hope those names never come out. Ever. You would be amazed what adrenaline can do. This guy was fully charged up. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I agree, Big B. When I got stabbed 14 times in my life, I didn't even feel it. I was fighting. I didn't feel it at all. Adrenaline's a motherfucker. I still don't understand what exactly happened to Ethan's leg. Dateline described, yeah, but they weren't. Nothing else said they were carved. That was just the Dateline shit. They got that one wrong. One of the docs, I think it entails, was where he went and got treatment for a cut hand. No, he didn't get treatment. I'll tell you what that is here in a second. No, Koberger didn't go get treatment. I hope it doesn't either. It would just be hilarious to point at and laugh at Dan Taylor. Yeah. We'll get to all that. I got some shit I'm going to show you in a second. So, they say that outside the house were some kind of footprints. I don't know what the fuck those footprints were. It doesn't say that they were in blood or anything like that. I have no clue what they were. Apparently, little small handprints were on the window, and then the screen was on the ground. I have no clue what that was about either. They also said that there was handprints on the door. They also said that there was handprints on the door. Don't know anything about that because we haven't heard anything that says they had a fingerprint match of anything with Koberger. There was smudges on the door as well. Then they go on to say that in jail, there was people that had interactions with Koberger. They got enough for a confession. Let's wait for the next Jailhouse Chronicles written by BK, yeah. So in jail, there was interactions with Koberger. A guy called him a fucking weirdo. Said, I would have assaulted him, but I didn't want anything to happen. He said he believes he did it because his eyes tell the story. No, James. In my opinion, do I think this was Koberger's first time killing? Absolutely not, and I'm going to explain to you why. Last time I was on here, I said I thought it was his first time. I have changed my position completely, and I'm going to tell you why. Here in just a second, James. So jail, they said he was a fucking weirdo. He said I would have, you know how jail people are, I would have fucked him up myself. I didn't want to get in no trouble. You're right. Says his eyes tell the story. And they said that Koberger was germophobic. He washed his hands constantly. He would shower for an hour. These are what some of the information and interviews with people in the jail that had interactions with Koberger. By the way, they have all Koberger's jail calls, which you're never going to hear and they're never going to be released. They also have all Koberger's correspondence, written mail correspondence. They have, they did that shit. So he would shower for an hour, which I don't really find that weird. He'd be, I want to say this, because people are acting like it's weird that Koberger would stay up all night and sleep all day. In jail, that's not weird at all. And I'll tell you why. It makes your time go faster. If you're up at night, and also not just does it make your time go faster, Hold on, let me pull this chat back up. Not just does it make your time go faster, but you actually get some privacy and peace to write and think and do whatever you want if you're up at night, because most people are up during the day. So I can tell you now, it was very, very, very common for me to sleep all day, even sleep through trays of food, and stay up and read all night. And the reason, I'm talking about in jail, in prison, the reason for that is because finally the cell block's quiet at night. So let's say you're a reader, you like to read. During the day, you got people playing cards, watching TV, whatever the situation is. I'm being honest, I even now, I would rather sleep during the day, and I would rather do my videos and shit at night. I'd rather work at night. True story. So, anyway, they said he was a germaphobe, which really doesn't surprise me about Brian Kohlberger. They said that when they arrived, Xana's door was open. You think he will be transferred? He's already been transferred. He was transferred the day of the sentencing. He's already at diagnostics now. He's at diagnostics right now getting classified. He's already got his DOC number. All that shit has already happened. They actually got him out that night in the middle of the night. So, to another state? I think they're transferring Richard Allen, right? I think it's definitely possible. So Xana's door was open. Ethan was on the bed. Xana was on the floor. When you're 20, most likely your first thoughts are that 4 roommates have been murdered. Exactly. Yeah, Richard moving to Oklahoma. Yeah. Dylan, we've come to find out, thought that Kaylee was running up and down the stairs. So she really, that's why when she opened the door, she told him to stop fucking around. The 170 says this guy thinks he's hard with a tear dip tattoo. You're not gangster. You're not Lil Wayne. What a nut job. Are you sad? You wanted me to get my tattoos from when I was a young man removed so I wouldn't insult you? You wouldn't insult you? Okay, how do you get your feelings get hurt when someone thinks different? No, I don't want to be around retards. And retards are the ones that would come in here and say the exact thing that you're saying. Why would a 45-year-old man think he's gangster? Continue reading, bud. Can you not read? I can read. 3 degrees. Just saying. Anyway, let's continue. Kaylee was running up and down the stairs. But you can answer my question. You can answer my question anytime you want. And by the way, unsubscribing to your insecure ass. Nobody's seen your bitch ass here before. You have a teardrop tattoo, bud. Yes. That I've had for 25 years. Dummy. Enough said, right? In Dylan's victim statement, she said, and what's your question? No, I'll have a question for you now. Point of this is your first comment ever. You probably just subscribed. You just wanted to troll. No big deal. And listen, there's no reason to just be mad about it now when I've been talking the same shit for 6 months. In Dylan's victim statement, she said he called her dad. You're 60, get it removed. You got money, don't you? Why would I get it removed? Why would I get it removed? What would be the point of getting it wet? I've been hella busy with work, my B. Yeah, clearly. We clearly busy at work. Clearly. Because you want to be hard. Why would I want to spend money? You can't whoop me. I'll promise you that. You can't whoop me. That's a guarantee. But anyways, he's spurging out. He's spurging the fuck out, ain't he? All right. Calm down, little one. I'm mad because you got a tattoo on your face. I'm mad. Oh, I'll bet anything. One of us is trained, one of us isn't. I would bet anything. I would bet every penny in my bank account. Every penny. A networker may have been behind paparazzi. Possibly. We want to listen to the doc, so shut your ass up. Let's get back to this. I'm done playing with you. Email me anytime you want to set it up. No problem. It's not a problem. But we're going to get back to the business, though. I've been streaming all day, and I'd like to get over here. I'd like to get back to my Jurassic Park. I'd like to get back to my Jurassic Park. But let's get back to this. So, love monkey ball, enough said? Yeah, clearly. Is that what he loved monkey ball? Is that what he said? Anyway, Kaylee was the one running up and down. She thought Kaylee was the one running up and down the stairs. Oh, no, they've been, yeah. Trolls are just going to troll. You know what I mean? Trolls troll because they have nothing better to do. They're mad. He's mad. That I'm telling the people, I'm calling the people out, because if you still think Brian Koberger's innocent, you're a fucking retard. Can you talk about why it took Dylan 8 hours to call? Sure, absolutely. She's drunk. Clearly drunk and confused. She doesn't know what the fuck happened. John, that's clearly what it is. Well, I don't give a shit. Oh, it's not hard to understand. It's well documented where my tattoo is from. Well documented where my tattoo is from. Don't judge, I really believe what? Absolutely. So, anyways, the 8 hours, I truly believe. Have you heard that Linda Ella? Man, go. Well, I get it. You're one of the dummies. Of course we've heard about the Linda Lane footage. Who cares? You didn't say Dylan in the morning, his boyfriend is Quinn and his name is... All right. Look, man. I'm currently recording screen recording the troll conversations for a new video that may come out. You're practically not even a true crime channel anymore, JB. No. So obviously DM fucking knows what. I don't want any retarded people in here. Because somebody please take care of that for me. Kathy says for the gifts over and 7 over, they're spurging because there you go, Kathy. Post-conviction pro-burger alert. Yeah, they can't admit that they're wrong. So you get trolled a lot? No. But I've done this for a living for 19 years. Every YouTuber gets trolled. 19 years, yeah. Nobody knows what cope pussy means. We're all adults in here. For the gift and 7 over, they're spurging because he wants to suck you off. He is sad he can't. Thank you, Kathy. Appreciate you. Yeah, exactly. So anyway, let's get back to this. Some people are just weird ones, man. But yes, someone that has had over 100 channels, done this for 19 years, makes a living off of it. Yeah, I think it's safe to say I've been trolled a time or two. Especially when people are just mad. Especially when they're just mad because you think that they're fucking stupid. Because clearly they're stupid. We have studied everything, come up with something new and intelligent and leave? Yeah, exactly. So anyway, getting back to this. Oh, shit. Shit. My bad. Fuck that up. What's up, Deacon? So Dylan was confused. She thought it was Kaylee running up and down the stairs. You know what this is? There you go, Malcolm. Florencia says, I'm not surprised she was confused with all what was going on. Yeah. So she didn't even know. She thought it was Kaylee running up and down the stairs with the dog. And I believe that what that was Xana running and being chased by Koberger. As I said earlier, they knocked Kaylee's teeth out. Round objects with stripes left marks on her face. Bruised around mouth. Only time I was ever rude in a live chat was towards Gypsy Rose. What's up? What's up, Samira? Well, look, man. They get mad. They get angry because they were wrong, and now you're saying, look, man, this shit sounds stupid. It's no different. Look, man, let me tell you what they remind me of. Have you ever seen someone who every single time their sports team loses, it's the referee's fault? Yeah, I want to know about the fireworks, too. All right. Have you ever seen somebody, like, I don't know if maybe it could be your boy, it could be your husband, and the dude, every time his team loses, he's like, the refs cheated him, the refs cheated him. That's what this reminds me of. Instead of just say, man, my team sucked, they played like shit, or I was wrong, worst kind of people, 100%, absolute worst kind of people. And I've never been like that. My team loses, I'm like, goddamn, they just suck. You know what I mean? They need to get a new goddamn running back. Shit, a new third baseman. Shit like that. Why has he even studied this man's tattoos beyond me? And, no, it's just it's called homosexuality, Malcolm. It's called homosexuality. That's what a man does when he wants to have sex with another man. He begins to look at him and he's like, why are you wearing that shirt? Why are you got that tattoo? Why are you this? Why are you that? He wants to have sex with people. He clearly likes me. I just don't roll the fag way. You understand what I'm saying? What's up, Ranger? How you doing? The Sensing live stream was fire, bro. BK's ice code. Yeah, 100%. So basically what you got. What? Yeah, I know clearly. Why would you be in here for 15 minutes talking about my appearance and wanting to know why I have my appearance this way and you're not a chick? Clearly homosexuality. And he's young and spells LMAOO, shit like that. It's clearly a young homosexual. Clearly. Now, let's get back to this. Basically what I just broke down for you was all we really got. That's why there's the innocence product. Some guilty are, as charged folks are truly innocent. The documents do not prove BK's guilt. Please go get help. Please go to a doctor immediately. Not this weekend, not Monday, today. They don't have to prove the guilt. BK said I'm guilty. BK said he was, no, these people are fucking wild. Okay, I'll play along. Why would he say I'm guilty and take 4 consecutive life sentences if he didn't do it? Please tell me. Please tell me. I'll wait. I'll wait. I'll wait. I may even go smoke real quick and let you type up something suspenseful. But, yeah, exactly. So So it's all just a coincidence. His DNA being there, coincidence. His phone being off during the time, coincidence. Ordered and received an K-bar off Amazon, coincidence. Kohberger not one time has said he was innocent, but he said guilty. Many aren't concerned about what happened that night, but are more concerned about how it can be played out in court. No, and I think that's exactly what it is. I think these people, man, they're like, if you don't give me 100% of the evidence, I'm just going to side with the killer. But let me tell you a secret. A lot of these women that are out here, you know who they never say is innocent? I want you to pay attention to them. The same women running around here, Kohberger's innocent, will scream up and down that what's her name, Kaylee Anthony, Kylie or whatever, Casey Anthony is guilty as fuck. Leilani Simon, guilty as fuck. And I want you to follow a pattern of not just these women, but the women YouTubers. They never give the innocent until proven guilty doubt to the women suspects. Swear to God. So I want you to show me which one of these snack cakers gave the benefit of the doubt, innocent until proven guilty, to a female suspect. They didn't. They never will. They get hooked to these people. You can actually hear the fireworks on Jeff Gage. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck the fireworks were. I have no clue what the fireworks was. Yeah, exactly. Trolls are like flies, annoying but not worth breaking shit. Oh yeah, of course. All flies serve a purpose. Yeah, that's true. So, my question is, even though, okay, hold on. Look, I run headfirst into red flags to point my friends, think I should become a cop. Okay. In the body language of sentencing, yes. Are they still questioning whether he's guilty? They are. I don't understand these fucking people, man. Like, what is it about Kohberger? Like, why is it such a big deal to you that you can't admit his guilt? He was staring at the family right in their face, no emotion the entire time. It's a crazy scenario. And so I ask him clearly, my question to any of these people, and I know there's still pro-burgers watching me right now. My answer is, why would this man admit to, at 30 years old, 4 crimes and life in prison where he'll die in prison? What if there's 40 chess going on, what the fuck is the 4? Tell me the game. Because I can tell you, even if it's all, when you look at each thing individually, you're like, yeah, that may not mean much. But I'm sorry. A man with his DNA at the crime scene said, I committed the murders. You gotta be a special kind of retarded to listen to a man that ordered a K-bar knife off Amazon, looked for a replacement after the murders. His DNA was at the crime scene, and he said out of his own mouth, I did it. Oh yeah, we'll find out how many snack cakers there are in here. I'm sure there's a few. Let's see here. Well, guilty. Hold on, let me do the poll. Guilty. I'll just do that and leave yes or no. There we go. I'm sure, the snack cakers will show up and hit the poll, but they won't argue. They definitely won't do anything like that. Yeah, of course, Batista and the tunnels. Yeah, I know they said that they heard what they thought was fireworks. And I do find that to be extremely strange. Retarded, I like how you're blunt you are, not afraid to use, yeah, faggot, I'll use the N-word. Retarded, don't care. Don't care. You gotta catch me at the right times for all this shit, though. I was in disbelief. Look, I do believe the case, and that's another thing. Somebody in here earlier, they said, doesn't this case seem shady to you? I'm like, okay, so I would like to ask the audience, what's the shady part? You would hear something like a firework very well. Yeah, I agree. What is the shady part that I'm missing? I'm missing here. I've covered the case since the beginning. The case only seems shady if the outcome isn't what you desire to be. Yeah. And I'm going to be honest. I am more convinced now that Kohberger did it than I've ever been in my life. Exactly, Gil. I've heard all those narratives. Persecuting all those who weren't pro-guilty. Well, I'm sure he's rubbing it in, Bo. I'm sure he's rubbing it in. Yeah, I'm sure all that. Look, and now I don't blame them because my villain. I think it's weird. Dylan stated she called her dad that morning because her tooth hurt, but it wasn't mentioned in these reports. You got to remember these were the police initial reports. They didn't know that though. What's the likelihood Dylan told the cops she called her dad that morning? You got to remember, these were initial police report shit like that. When you read that BK said at the police station and how quickly he shut down the conversation, yeah, well, that's another thing. It could have been a lamp being knocked over. That's actually great. Interesting narrative can also be bullshit, yeah. I'd like to know about the additional DNA. What additional DNA? The DNA under her fingernails? Under Maddie's fingernails? That could have been from her getting dick the day before. That could have been anything. Some shady things or just normal things. They don't give out all the details. Yeah, it makes sense now. I think so. Well, let me say this. In the beginning, all evidence being sealed, no transparency of the case, some shit's just not your business. It's not your business what four people Kohberger was going to try to pin the case on. What alternative suspects he was going to try to blame the case on. Yeah, but nobody claims that he was threatened with his family's safety. You just made that up right here on the spot. You literally just made it up right here in this channel, in my chat room, on the very spot. No one ever said that Brian Kohberger was threatened or his family was threatened. No one ever said that ever. It's literally just a hallucination clearly right now at 4:05 p.m. Bethany said she heard the beer pong table bumping and beer cups falling. Yeah. It could have just been commotion, man. Maybe when the DoorDash food was being handed to Xana something. You know, that's a good... Or that crackhead's car might have backfired. There was second male DNA on the sheets that was unidentified. That DNA could have been the random guy at Amazon that put it in the shipping box. Is very true. Maddie's nails, gloves, hand, yeah. So, you know, actually, the alleged fireworks, I think it's possible. That crackhead may have had a car that backfired and shit. I just thought about that. Lone killer or were there others? Yeah, he confessed. I believe that if he was going to confess, I believe he would tell on the other people. Wouldn't you do it to try to get a better deal? If you were Brian Kohlberger and they accepted your plea down to take off the death penalty, like as a last ditch effort, wouldn't you be like, can we make it run concurrently instead of consecutively? If you let it run concurrently instead of consecutively, I'll tell you who the other guy was. Do you see my point? He would have offered the information. If you look at the angle, the front door opens, the door would reflect car headlights in the same direction as Bethany's room. Then front door was open. Yeah, it very well could have been from DoorDash. Yeah. It makes sense to me. That makes sense to me. It was around 4:45 a.m. when the unknown guy got picked up, maybe. He wanted, when the unknown guy got picked up, he wanted this credit all for himself. There was no one else. Yeah, I don't think there was anyone else either. Yeah, I liked Olivia's impact statement. That was some crazy shit. If I was a female DoorDasher delivering at 4 a.m., I would leave my car headlights on, of course. I would tell if there were others. Says Tonya, I just try to figure out. I don't understand why people aren't taking him for his word, man. There's no reason in the world that this guy would confess and say he did it and take 4 consecutive life sentences for something he didn't do. Why wouldn't you just take your chance at jury? He respectfully declined to speak. That was his chance. That's another great point. You got your chance to speak. Brian Kohlberger at no point in this entire thing claimed to be not guilty. He never claimed to be not guilty. Ever. Exactly, Blue Flame. Well, I'm glad you call yourself the turd cruncher. Go enjoy your turds. Weirdo. Olivia is a badass bitch. You know, she was all right. Absolutely. What a fucking weirdo. Damien Eccles is guilty as fuck and got off death row. That's sick to me. Unbelievable people think he's innocent. Same type to think Brian is. I guess here's the thing, man. Like, these people don't tell me. Like, and by the way, these same people think Richard Allen's innocent too. And both of these people confessed to the crime. Both of these people confessed to the crime. They said they did it. Why do people think a piece of shit murderer has honor and highest? Yeah, exactly. BK knew he'd be found guilty at trial. Him and Ann tried everything they could think of right up to the finish line. I'm going to be honest. Yeah, Brian Kohlberger discussed knives, death with Tinder match police files. Yeah, that's nothing. I've talked about knives and killing people in my 44 years plenty of times with Tinder matches and girlfriends. I've talked about serial killers, shit like that, plenty of times. It's not, I don't find it weird at all. I've talked about, yeah, I don't find it weird at all. That's one thing I don't find weird. Not at all. Not even close. Olivia had a flamethrower without a script. I think she did a good, I think it was very performative, but I also think she's full of shit. I found it impactful, but she was full of shit. I'm just glad he took a plea. I was worried he was going to walk. Yeah, I mean, that's why the prosecutor offered it. They didn't want to take a chance on him walking. That's it. They didn't want to take the risk of him walking. I wonder if Brian said, and I would have gotten away with it if I hadn't been for meddling kids. A good work, Scoop? Yes. So, I find it weird that as fuck, considering not only did he mention knives, the bastard mentioned the K-bar in the text. Now, the K-bar specifically, that's another thing we're going to get to. Because they... Okay, there's a couple things. Koberger once asked this chick, what's the one way you don't want to die? And I guess he brought it himself. She said something like being stabbed with a big knife. He's like a K-bar. Yeah, I mean that's a reference to what later ended up happening. Possibly if he beat the charge, his life would have still been marked. Maybe, but I don't think that's why he took the deal. I think he took the deal because he did it. That gag order protected Brian? Oh, 100%. If that that's 100%. But I will say this. You know that shit is weird though, Jimmy? The K-bar specifically, yes. No. Not at all. I mean, the K-bar specifically is not weird, it's ironic. It's not weird. It's not, okay. Let me say this. No, she was not the first Tinder date. Let me say this. Maybe it is weird, I don't know. But I talk about violence and serial killers and horror movies. Like, if I'm not having that conversation with a woman, I don't know what else to talk to her about. Maybe I'm the weird one and you guys are the normies. Like, what does a normal dude have a conversation with some bitch about? Excuse my language, ladies. Like, what is it, like, I talk about things I'm interested in, and so I'm going to just be perfectly honest. I talk about my interest, which is horror movies, serial killers. Talk about sex. Yeah, I mean, sex can come up eventually, but that gets tiring after 45 years. When you're not 20 years old, talking about sex really isn't really that exciting. Unless, like, it's some new person, you're on the phone with them, blah, blah, blah. Excuse my language, yes. Ladies. Yes, of course. Gag order was to protect Brian, but also justice is not to influence the jury. Yeah, I agree. I grew up down the street from BTK. True crime always been in my life. Well, one of my uncles is John Gacy, so I understand. I've always been into serial killers, though, and killers. You know what I mean? I've always liked it. And I'll tell you right now, there was plenty of times in my lifetime where I said to myself, I don't think you have to be insane or crazy to do that kind of shit. There's been plenty of times in my life I said, if I ever got terminal cancer, some people, they're out of there, gone. Why? And just mic drop for a reply? I didn't hear what Can't Keep Clean said. What they were talking about. So anyway, I don't feel like the documents gave us much of shit. But also this idea of justice is just an idea. It's not science. Yeah. Look at an influence jury for Derek Chauvin. He's not getting a mistrial anytime soon. Exactly. He's a distant uncle, cousin type shit. Like, I don't know him. I've never met him. It's just shit my grandparents told me growing up. I've dealt with trauma and can empathize with never being the same and rebuilding. Dylan was publicly terrorized on top of going through seeing her roommates butchered. Yeah, but trust me, I'm not into Gacy. I don't do the homos and the fat. I don't do the. Trust me, I don't run around talking about it because there could have been any killer in the world you could have put me in relation to, and the one person I would have picked Jeffrey Dahmer first. I would have picked Dahmer first. Dylan looks great. The list of coincidences are one-sided. All were explained away, then he pled guilty. I don't feel like the coincidences were explained away. I feel when you look at everything, like the circumstantial evidence, I feel like, if you want to know the truth, I feel like they all connect the dots. None of it was explained away. You look, you can't, all right. I think it's hard to get past, the dude said he did it and his DNA was there. It's easy for you to say, yeah, but DNA can be transferred. But you don't find it at least a little crazy that his DNA was on a knife sheath under a stabbed murder victim, and he ordered a K-bar knife off of Amazon and a replacement, and then the car, like we saw the footage, it definitely was a white Elantra. You don't find it definitely wasn't a green Elantra. We saw the footage. His DNA was there. The DNA matched him. It's very ironical. Yeah, he said, I did it. I don't understand how people see this shit and they're like, I don't think he did it. Coincidence like Elantra, K-bar, research paper describing similar crime, DNA on sheets. Dylan's description matches. Asked for a lawyer very quick when small talk turned into the Moscow crime. Yeah. Victims, the motherfucker is guilty. Yeah, I don't understand why anybody, and then not just that. Now you're mad because other people ain't also screaming he's not guilty. Pepperoni said it was green. Yeah. You don't dress up like a clown doing kid parties. Yeah, the whole Gacy thing is fucked up. Reaction Deer says, hey, JB, I'm a black man that loves and respects white people and believes whites should rule this nation. Good shit. But harsh reality is annoying. Yeah. Why is his eyebrows smaller now? Shit, I don't know. Maybe he trims his eyebrows. My hair is longer today than it was yesterday. Never know. I think people ask a lot of weird questions, right? People expected miracles from a light bulb camera, according to the documents. So is there any unsolved cases that are around areas like Brian's? Okay, back to this. Okay, let's talk about that. I was asked earlier, do I think that this was Brian's first one? No. I did think it was Brian's first one until these documents. Could be the bar ranger. Yeah. Olivia says he plucks them out. Yeah, Olivia, look, man. Olivia is going to catch several domestic batteries in her life. I assure you. If she hasn't, I'm just going to be dead honest with you. Olivia is going to catch several domestic batteries in her life. BK watched Dexter. That kind of bullshitting vitriolic mouth of hers, it was great entertainment. It was great to watch on TV. But she's going to get... several. I see it coming. May have been the alleged perp. I've heard about the Dana Smithers thing, and if there's anything's possible, but he wasn't there. He wasn't there at that time. So let me do this. Let's go here because there's some things I wanted to show you. Hold on. There was some thing. Oh, what was that? Maybe it was down here. God damn it! There's so much of this. That's not the one figuring out. There's his new mugshot, by the way. Anyway, let me just go ahead and say this. There was a teacher and assistant. There was a teacher's assistant that said Brian Kohlberger had cuts on his hands and his face. Not just in November, October, Would you let her domestically beat you, JB? I would never let any female touch me in a violent way without me almost murdering them. I would never let any human being. So that's my answer to your question. Would I let a female domestically batter me? And the answer is no. I would fuck her up immediately. She tried. Hey, JB, you want to know what shocks me the most? Probably makes me the most confused? The mainstream media wasn't wrong about BK. Yeah, the mainstream media is not always wrong. If that is your thing and you think everything, like the mainstream media is lying to you about everything, that's not true at all. If the mainstream media says the ball game was 6-3, I don't believe that score of the game was 6-3. The mainstream media said it. No. Do I think this was his first crime? That's what I'm getting to. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And the reason I say this is because that woman, that teacher's assistant, said that he had cuts, scratches, on his hand and cheek in both October and November. Now, granted, you may be able to say, well, that maybe she's getting the days wrong, the months wrong. Yeah, this ain't politics, so I don't think the mainstream media is lying about this crime. Maybe not murder, but he had been up to something. Yeah. Look, I believe a lot of us that have a proclivity to do violent things, I think we show that throughout our whole life. I personally was violent as a teenager, and as a 45-year-old man, I'm just as deadly. Not saying badass, not saying anything like that. What I am saying is the proclivity, the violence doesn't bother me. I guess that's the word. So like someone like Brian Koberger probably has always had violent tendencies. I would think so. And so, to be perfectly honest, if a teacher's aide, that's a good point. Wasn't he in court cut up from shaving his face poorly? That's a great point. No cuts on his face in the selfie. Excellent point, Deacon. Actually, Deacon just debunked that teaching assistant for me. Deacon just debunked the teaching assistant's claim for me. We all saw Brian Koberger that morning. Wow, yeah, that's an excellent point. Excellent point. I don't know what, to be perfectly honest, I think anything's possible. I don't think this was his first crime necessarily. I think this was his first crime. But there was part of me that thought it was his first murder. I don't think he would have stopped, though. You think he was high in that picture? He did look kind of high, but he may have just been proud. That may have been... He said clueless and couldn't provide a nexus to the crime. Yeah. You got to provide evidence for whatever claims that you make, and they were unable to do it. So he got shot. All of it. Look, man, Ann Taylor tried to get everything in the world to stick to the wall. Hard to believe that this is the first time he's done something like that. He's still young, though. Let me tell you, look, violence starts in very small ways. Violence starts in very, very small ways. The proclivity to the violence, it builds up over time. Does that make sense? That's why you hear so many stories of people killing animals and shit like that when they're kids. But you're definitely being infinitely patient with these people today? Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes. Ann knew he was guilty from the jump. She's got a job to do, Deacon. She's got a job to do. That's her job. I would take $8,000 a week. Was it $8,000 a day or $8,000? It was $8,000. It was $8,000. Was it a week or a day? I don't remember. It was a lot. It might have been $8,000 a day. She just threw everything against the wall. I don't know if she necessarily did a good job. He began his career criminal as a thief, then turned into a burglar, then became a murderer. Please, easy to see the escalation. Disagree 100%. $2.50 an hour, yeah. Disagree 100% with that afro. $200 an hour last I heard. What I will say is, yeah, I would have done it. I would have taken the job. I would have defended him for that kind of money. Even if I knew he did it, I would have lied to the courts. He's innocent as fuck. Raised to $450 a year ago? Yeah. $8,000 per week. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, I would have. That's what you want a lawyer to do. A lawyer is supposed to be like that. You're representing defendants. They didn't go to trial because of the brutality of the new docs coming out. Yeah, I think the prosecution took the deal because they didn't want to risk Kohberger be a jury member saying Kohberger's innocent. Quick search suggested $8,000 a week. So I was right, $8,000 a week. She had to sit next to a guy who slaughtered 4 kids. Yuck, I'm not a good liar. Yeah, no, I would have no problem at all. You pay me $8,000 a week. What's up, Dope So? Oh, snack cakers are a little crazy. You pay me $8,000 a week. Yeah, I'll sit next to him and defend him. Shit, I know he did it right now. You pay me $8,000 a week. I'll go defend Kohberger right now. I'll move into the cell. I'll defend his ass right now. Upgrade says kids. What are you talking about? But no. Yeah, 4 kids. Yeah, they weren't 4 kids. Those were 4 adults. I could probably throw shit at the wall for that too. Yeah, I mean, I don't see why not. JB, how could you defend a murderer? I got bills. I don't see. Here's the thing. Look, man. Everybody's got their own morality, and I think everybody's got a price. There's not a thing in this world that I won't do for a certain price. Everybody's got a price. Everybody's got a price. Now, you may sell to the world that you wouldn't violate your morals, your moral compass for the right amount of money. Disagree completely. Maybe there's always a price. You can't force a defendant to stand trial if they plead to the charges as stated. It's common, yeah. So not to require. Chris Watson, yeah, there was nothing that they could do to Kohberger if they agreed to that. They had to roll with it. And for the state, it was a good deal because you don't want to risk not getting the conviction. And for Kohberger, it was a good deal because he did it and he knows he did it and now he gets off. Doing it well doesn't guarantee a killer goes free. Yeah. Look, man, the $1 Million Man said it best. Yeah, everybody's got a price. What do people think defense attorneys are supposed to do? Just lie down? No, exactly. Well, I mean, you don't think like the attorneys for like John Gotti and shit like that knew who they were defending? We want criminals guilty or not to have to go to zealous defense. She tried. Yeah. Look, man, I'll be perfectly honest with you. I consider myself a good guy. But if I had to argue for murderers all day for $8,000 a week, I'm in. And if you raise that shit to $20,000 a week, I'm getting them the fuck out. Not just that, I'm helping them sneak shit in, I'm doing whatever. Just to be perfectly honest. Everybody's got a price. Shit. Let me be down. Exactly, Upgrade. Who's that female serial killer? I would have married that bitch for the right price. You know what I'm talking about. What's her name? That Texas chick, I think she was from. It was a small college town, did not want this publicity. I agree. I think they definitely didn't want it. They wanted it gone. It's a win-win for the state. It's a win for Kohlberger. Me too. Does the Guardian ad lithium doesn't pay like that? Sign me up. Yeah. Warnos, yeah. Pay me the right price. I'll eat Warnos' ass every day of the week, and sleep right next to the bitch. No fear, no nothing. Everybody's got a price for anything. D'Angelo, Golden State Killer. She got that high money because it was a capital case. Only 13 death penalty qualified. Yeah, exactly. Hell, JB, I was thinking Ann may have slipped him something before the court, the way he sat there and took that shit. I think Kohlberger's just cold-blooded. I think he's cold, man. I'll do a lot of shady shit for money. You want to know the truth, though? I won't steal. Once again, I think everybody's got a price. Everybody's got a price. But I despise thieves. And I won't steal. Once again, everybody's got a price, though. So, I'm sure there is an amount that would convince me to steal. But we're talking about millions. Like if I knew I could get away with stealing $1,000 from you, I'm not gonna do it. $10,000, I'm not gonna do it. $50,000, I'm not gonna do it. I'm sure you're saying no conjugal visit. Damn it. Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's cold-blooded as fuck, killing 4 pretty girls. I mean, I don't think it's incel to fuck up a bitch. Actually, Ben, it's so I don't think it's incel at all to do something like that. But a couple million, exactly. Do you think by any chance he'll write a book? I think I'm going to tell you exactly who I think is going to sell his story. And I think he did it purposely. I'm going to show you right here. Hold on. I think this right here is the woman that's going to sell his story. I think this woman right here, I guess that's just me trying to put a motto to it. Yeah. You think Ted Bundy was an incel? Exactly. What was the Tapito things? Okay, let me say this, okay? I think that it is extremely strange, and I'm not saying you're strange, okay, I hate every time someone does something bad to women, it's because they're an incel. Just like every time someone does something bad to a black, they have to be racist. I'm putting those together because that's how it works. Do you see my point? Like, anytime someone, I think, what's your proposed motive? I'd say the likelihood is he wanted to know what it was like to kill somebody and if he can get away with it. I don't even think that everybody that rapes someone is an incel. I don't think Ted Bundy was an incel at all. Power control, yeah. And so I guess that's what I mean. Like, I think Amanda will write a book. I agree. Well, I think one of them will do something. Nothing more to it, JB. I think he just wanted to see what it was like and if he can get away with it, what it felt like. I definitely don't think that anytime someone is mean or hates women that they're an incel. Because I'm going to be honest with you. I can get pussy anytime I want. Every single day. There is no incel. And there's a lot of times I can't stand bitches. So I'm using that as an example. It was in those studies, exactly. I'm using that as an example. It's creepy to know this guy grew up 2 hours from me. Yeah, a lot of killers do. A lot of killers do. Rest in sweet peace. Yeah, they're not reading this page, Justice Jane. I'm pretty I don't think Madison and Kaylee and Xana and Ethan are reading that message right now. Appreciate the sentiment, though. Definitely a lot of rage with stiff 50 stabs and 30, but that's because they were fighting back. Look who got all them stabs. Kaylee probably woke up when he was killing Maddie, and Xana caught him and was chased down the stairs, probably. Definitely a rage with 50 stab, yeah. So you can hate a group of people or dislike a group of people and it not be because you can't get them. You know what I mean? That's kind of, that's coping behavior to be like, you hate us because you ain't us. No, sometimes you hate a motherfucker. What about the porn on his phone? Apparently, is there something there? Is there people that don't have porn on their phone? Is there people that don't have porn? Is there anybody here that doesn't have porn on their phone? They literally said there was zero ties to them, 100%. I'm asking a serious question. Is there anybody here that doesn't watch porn? I don't, of course. Sorry, Chad, I'm 5 minutes behind. Cool. Justice Jane don't. Sorry, Chad. So, not social media, nothing. So why did he pick him? I think he targeted the house. You might have just got in here. So I think he targeted the house. I have porn, but I'm not a killer? Exactly. Yet, of course. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess that was my point. Like the, goddamn, don't check my phone, thank God. Yeah, exactly. Into the break, I don't, but I know a site would be really mad if they heard me say that. If you remember the girl on Reddit about a month, anyway. So no, my feeling, I think he did a crime to feel powerful. Yeah, that's exactly what I think it was. I think that's exactly what it is. I feel like there's just a tiny bit more to this. There was no connections. All my testosterone is gone, but hell, I watch it every great now and then. Yeah, I don't see why not. I got a chick. I try to get that porn shit in early. Keeps me from doing dumb shit in the evening, like spending time with my girl. I wait till she's gone, wait till before I stream, get one out, and then I'm calm the rest of the day. That way I ain't gotta, that's the way it works. But yeah, I don't think Kohlberger having porn on his phone is like, he's 30 years old. There doesn't have to be a connection for him to be interested in acting on a bizarre fantasy. No, there doesn't have to be at all. I don't think there has to be any kind of anger or any kind of like connection to just wake up and say, I want to know what it feels like to be a killer. I think it happens to a lot more people than you guys know. I think it happens to a lot of people. And what the difference between someone like myself and someone like Brian Kohlberger is they act on that thought. It's not the fact that he watched porn, it's the kind of porn he watched. Oh, so I'd hate to tell you about the fucking sex room and I'd hate to tell you about all that shit. I also watch BDSM porn. I engage in BDSM. It's my lifestyle. It's my kink. And I think I 100% understand. Once again, if it's not your kink, you're going to look at it that way. You're going to look at that way. People being choked and tied up. I've always wanted a sex room. Yeah. No, we're just trying to understand what happened. No, I understand. But what I'm trying to tell you, I apologize. Yeah, anytime, Samantha. Yeah, no, I've always had one. It's always been a thing of mine. Every now and then I pack it up and shit, but I've always got the toys and the wheel and shit like that. The benches, all that shit. Don't pull out the box. Exactly, Upgrade. Upgrade, Noah, he's been around. But yeah, I guess my point is that if you aren't vanilla normal people, okay, I don't want to insult people. We'll just say vanilla, normal, non-cable type people, you know. Incapacitated porn, yeah. You understand. Thank you, Ginger. Like, consensual, non-consensual is a real thing, right? That doesn't mean that everyone that engages as consensual, non-consensual is like some rapist. Vanilla is a very good word. Has their own porn vices, yeah. Exactly. I don't know why we were acting like that's okay, given the context. Because he didn't rape anybody. There is nothing to point to the fact that this was a sex crime in any way. That this was sexually driven in any way. He was looking up girls who were passed out, yeah. I'm not saying it's not connected. I'm just saying I'm just saying, in my opinion, that just makes it even weirder. That's to some people, I guess. Yeah, 50 Shades of Grey. 50 Shades of Grey is very tame. You understand? But I will, using the chicken feather might be erotic, but using the whole chicken is getting to the kink. Yeah, I'll leave this alone for now. But all I will say is that certain things are a lifestyle, and yeah, there are certain people that take it a little too far. But I will tell you now, in my own sexual relationships, I engage in sexual or consensual, non-consensual. I engage in blood play. I engage in almost any kink you can think of, unless it's not age relation. But yeah, and to you, who may be vanilla and boring and sexually and all that, you may look at it and say, oh, that's rough, that's violent. Whereas I look at boring sex as I'd rather just not do it. I'd rather just drink and not be bothered by it. And I think Olivia has quite the mouth on her, and I think she did well. I think she definitely got her shots in. I would have loved a Koberger. I would have loved to see Koberger be like, bitch, who are you talking to? I just would have, I would have died laughing. It would have been the greatest moment of the whole case. It would have been worth the whole 3 years of covering this. If while she was doing all that, Koberger was like, now, bitch, hold on. Who in the fuck are you talking to? That's why I killed your sister. I couldn't have helped myself. I would have died laughing. But how can you laugh at that? The bitch had a big mouth. I would have, I would have laughed. 100%. 100%. Don't do bestiality? No. Why would anybody do bestiality? That's illegal and it's not. Okay, I don't think you understand. Bestiality is that's not a legal kink. Bestiality and child molestation is kind of the same thing, just a little different. Do you see how the vanillas go? Do you see how they do that? Does that mean you need more and more extreme stuff, though? No, I don't think it's not porn addiction. It's real life. That's not a porn addiction. That's real life. But yes, every year it gets more and more extreme. Every year it gets more and more extreme. Yeah, I agree with you about that, Daryl. But, yeah. And then Terminus is saying, oh, cause you're not boring in the bedroom, next thing you know, you'll be sucking dick, JB. See why? Vanilla people are very weird, man. And they creep me out. Dude gave them all a middle finger when he said, I respectfully decline. And I think he should respectfully decline for the rest of his life. Exactly, Upgrade. Y'all ain't planning on fucking these chickens, are you? That's hilarious. Yeah, no, to be perfectly honest, I don't know what happened with Kohlberger. But I do find it, like I said, I find it funny that the vanilla people in the room, though, they're like, oh, shit. JB does BDSM. What's next? You're going to be fucking dogs and men? That's vanilla people for you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much all I got. We talked about a few of the things. And just in case, I wrote them down on the list, but I had all the articles up here. We could have went over everything. I had them all highlighted. I was ready to go. But there's nothing really there. I wonder if we will ever do an interview. I hope he doesn't. Honestly. What the hell is vanilla people? We'll just call them missionary type folk. We'll just call them missionary type folk. People that are just very, like, no eating ass, no anal, no kinks, no nothing. You know what I'm at. But I'll leave that alone. I'm a professional. We're here to talk about true crime, not anal probing. Entertaining as always. See you, gentlemen. Who's the girl in Burgundy? Oh, that was his Kohlberger's sister. That was Kohlberger's sister, yes. That's exactly what it was. So I think she'll be the one that writes the book. I think she'll be the one to write the book. Truly. All right, guys, I've been streaming for over 5 hours today. It's almost 6. I'm going to get up out of here. I think this was awesome. Good one. We got Ginger going now. She's going to be talking about BDSM all night. Anal probably okay. Anal probably okay. Yeah, exactly. Why didn't Brian's dad show up for sentencing? That's a good question, because his mom was there and his sister was there. Yeah, it's hard to have the whole BDSM versus vanilla conversation on the True Crime channel. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, he said, "What's Ginger's number?" Yeah. Anyways, so sorry I got moved to the left and right on a couple times. So what did I walk into? Anal probing. And all we're trying to do is talk about the Kohlberger case, but these whores in the audience, they always get me going. They always get me. It's always their fault. It's the slut's fault. It's not my fault, ever. I was trying to do the professional thing and just talk about the case, which I did for pretty much 2 hours. But they got me the last 10 to 15. He said, thanks for a great strawberry show. Well, Mein Kampf then, yes. Good shit, thanks. Keep it between the lines, David. I told you, that's what I do. Sonic triple with cheese, that's exactly what's coming. That's exactly why I'm getting off of here. That's a great, yes. Sonic triple with cheese. That's the way you do it. I'm married, not a slut. I know. I was late. Work props, yes. So anyway, To you guys just coming in, I was just as professional as I always am. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. If you haven't, go ahead and rewind it. I'm going to get to my Sonic Triple Cheese. You guys have a good day. Thank you to everybody that hit tip jar. Thank you to everybody that didn't. That Sonic Triple Cheese is the shit. It's my new favorite thing in life. Even, I'll just leave that. I'll get out of here. Y'all be cool. Do you agree that sick fuck BK loved Dylan's speech because look, I think it's possible. I think the Sonic Triple and Cheese, Sonic Restaurant Triple Cheeseburger and Cheese. Anyway, I think it's possible that Brian Koberger, you said you won't eat it all. Man, I'll eat 5 of them. I'll eat 10, bro. Name the number and I'll eat them on a live stream, but you got to pay for them. Name the number and I'll eat them on a live stream, but you got to pay for them all. I went on Jules on track. I attacked by a few women. My Trump proud before I triggered their TDS. I made them eat dirt. Yeah, they get like that. But anyway, they get real weird. I believe it's possible Brian Koberger enjoyed watching all the statements, the victims. I believe it's very, very possible he enjoyed the entire thing. I mean, shit. If that's what if that's what you're thinking about doing, you want to go cause as much harm as possible, murder 4 people, whatever the case. I would imagine that hearing their victim statements probably aroused Koberger in some way. To be perfectly honest, I definitely feel like the sister, Olivia. I guarantee you inside Brian Koberger's head, he's just sitting there like, bitch, you know what I would do to you? I can almost guarantee it. I'd have to do more squats if I ate that. Yeah, man. Some people are like that. Nah, man. Upgrade, I don't think he'd do 5 triple with cheese. I'll do 5. I would do 5. Absolutely. I would do 5. The one thing about me is I don't eat a lot. Oh, let me give a shout out to Mad Season, who sent 25, said enjoy your Sonic. Thank you. Mad Season sent 25 and said enjoy your Sonic. There you go. Thank you so much. I will say this. Yeah, I think Koberger enjoyed it. I don't eat a lot. Like many times a day. Like I don't eat during the day at all. But I could eat a lot. Like if challenged to. Or to do challenges. Like I've thought about doing the 200 nuggets challenge. Shit like that. Olivia look hot, thin and tan. Yeah, I could eat. But see, I don't have a max. I think it's what it is because I don't eat all day. Come 5 or 6 o'clock, I could eat a lot. Hot dog challenge? I hate hot dogs though. Well, I like chili dog. Yeah, I made chicken fajitas for breakfast. There you go. But no, like thank you, Mad Season. No, I feel like. Yeah, no, not to me. I look at all the challenges. Sometimes I just watch food challenges, and I'm like, I could do that easily. 200 nuggets, no, not a problem. 250 I could do. What are you talking about? I like watching some of the food challenges because they act like it's so fucking much. Now, don't get me wrong. I've failed some food challenges before. There's this place called the Big Texan in Texas. They have a 72-ounce steak. And you pay $72 for it. Well, you did when I went. And if you eat it in an hour, you get it for free, right? What they don't tell you is you get a couple rolls and a baked potato and I think a salad with it. You got to knock that shit out too. And so before I tried it, while I was waiting on it to get cooked, I drank like 4 tall 32-ounce beers. And so I was already, maintain a 300 body by eating rice cakes. Well, I actually eat healthy a lot. It's the drinking that maintains my weight. That's why A lot of times when like if I go a week without drinking, I'll lose 20 pounds. Does that make sense? Because so much of my weight is water weight. It's liquid. It's like, because I don't really eat that much. When it comes to calories per day, I really don't eat that much. I probably eat 1,500 calories per day. Probably. But I can eat a lot in one sitting. That steak don't look too good at Big Texan. Give me a 20-ounce. But yeah, the steak wasn't good. It was a lot. Where they got me, Texan, is that steak had a lot of fat on it, and I don't like the fat on steak. I don't like fat on steak. I don't like fat on any meat. I don't like fat anyway. Occasionally, I'll eat a fat woman's ass, but I don't like fat on my food. So that's where they got me, Texas, is the Big Texan. You got this big 72-ounce steak, but so much of it is kind of fatty. Hell, you got to eat it all too, including the fat. Do you see where it got me? Mindy popped up. Juicy ribeye. Yeah. And the sides too. Yeah. Like if you gave me 72 ounces of just filet mignon, I could eat it in a heartbeat. I could do it. But you're giving me 72. No, I would rather eat a fat woman's ass than eat fat on the steak. I'm not bullshitting you at all. I would rather eat a fat woman's ass after she was gone working all day than eat fat on a steak or on any meat, pork chop, anything. I hate fat and gristle and all that weird little shit. I hate that shit. So, sorry. I got to tell you, the Longhorn makes a hell of a bone-in ribeye. Had one the other day. Yeah, no, the Longhorn is good. Longhorn's good. You know what, man? I just get these little fucking filet mignons from Walmart. $20. I think they're $20. Yeah. Go check. I mean, it doesn't have to be Walmart, but since I do most of my grocery shopping at Walmart, that's where it tends to be. But you're a New York strip guy then? I'm a filet mignon guy. Very much so. Very much so. With butter on it. Filet mignon with butter is my ideal steak. Yeah. You can gain 20 pounds eating a fat bitch's ass. Yeah, I know. It happens. I would have to ponder that one. Yeah. Yeah, let me see. I can see if I can show you. Yeah, fat is great. Yeah, these little things right here. Little filet mignons, 2 for $17.13. This is typically what I get. I may get something big like this, but usually something like this, you get 2 filet mignons for $17.13. That's that, and that's a good price. And the big, you know what I mean? I mean, they're a little bit smaller, but you give me 2 of those. Yeah, I like that. Bacon wrap filet with a side of stuffed shrimp. There you go. Yeah, no, they're my favorite. Easily my favorites is the filet mignon. Not a question. It's not. There's not even like. Yeah, porterhouses are interesting. Every now and then I'll eat a porterhouse. Ribeyes are good. I do like those. I'll go to this United Grocery General, $5.89 for organic 90% meat. There you go. Exactly. Mistakes are always made, says Sassy Chick. I don't know what she's talking about. But anyway. So that's the way it works. I love you guys. I'm going to get up out of here. Hope you guys all have a good one, fun one. And I don't know when the next time is you'll see me here on this channel. Because it's not like I stream here every day or I'm here every day. But if any like breaking news, I mean, I told you what was in the documents. There's really nothing else. I'm sure more stuff will come out. Pork tenderloins are the best pork you can buy. There you go. Can't keep clean. Flat iron steak, aka butcher cut, is the bomb. There you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get up out of here. Thank you. I will see you guys when I see you. To all the people from over in the Gun Squad, over on the Gun Show, I'll see you there tomorrow morning. I'm going to play some fucking Jurassic Park now and eat some Sonic triple cheeseburgers. Smoked pork shoulder. That sounds like it sucks. I'm not eating no fucking shoulders. I don't want no shoulders. I'll eat an ass, but a shoulder is not part of that